Coming up on Mountain News this morning, as winter approaches, University of Kentucky students are collecting coats for kids in need. And since our clocks fell back Sunday, we talked to a medical professional for people affected by seasonal depression.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. Happy Monday to you. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this November 3rd. We are at 6:30 on the dot this morning and, of course, ready for a check of our weather with meteorologist Megan Dusmall. Megan, we didn't really have a lot of rain over the weekend, but last night was a different story.
Yes, last night we started to see those rain chances picking up, but for most of the weekend it was pretty nice. Definitely good for some fall-like activities, and that's kind of the trend that we'll see going into this week, as most of the weekdays will stay dry from the rain. However, we will not be clear from fog, as dense fog starts off our morning, especially for our far western counties and our West Virginia and Virginia counties. Keep that in mind as you are beginning your day. Everybody has the chance of running into some patchy fog for your Monday. Now, in terms of cloud chances, we are looking at some clouds this morning. No rain is in the forecast, and then clouds will clear out by this afternoon, which will lead to some nice afternoon weather. This morning, though, looking at a mixture of the mid 40s, and then this afternoon seeing some mid to upper 50s alongside those mostly sunny skies. We'll see high temperatures for the day around 4 p.m. Amelia.
Thank you, Megan. Crews in Pulaski County are reminding folks to stay alert this forest fire season. The Somerset Fire Department was called to the 4000 block of West Highway 80 Friday for corn stalks on fire. Officials say it started from a combine machine during harvest. Crews were able to quickly put out the fire. Forest fire season runs until December 15th. You can find those regulations or report illegal burning on the State Energy and Environment Cabinet's website. In Kanawha County, West Virginia, sentencing for a man found guilty of murder has been set for next month. Michael Smith was convicted on multiple charges, including second-degree murder and concealment of a body. Deputies arrested Michael Smith in the death of Cheyenne Johnson back in 2021. Cheyenne's best friend was in the courtroom Thursday and says the conviction was a huge relief, and she feels that she now has the chance to properly grieve her friend. 3 men charged in connection with a double murder in the Belfry area appeared in court Thursday. Jolyn McCree, Devin Overstreet, and Orlando Pack Jr. were charged in connection with the deaths of Jacob Adair and Rodney Estep in 2023. During the hearing, prosecutors mentioned DNA testing results were completed from KSP's lab in the case. The defendant's attorneys wanted to review the evidence before arguing motions. The 3 men had a pretrial conference scheduled for January 29th, a jury trial for April 27th. A 17-year-old was hiking at the Red River Gorge when he fell nearly 40 feet. He had to be airlifted to the hospital. Yesterday, the teen says he's made a full recovery. It's something that he credits to the first responders who saved his life that day. As Maggie Rickerby shows us, the teen was reunited with his heroes Sunday to thank them.
This is us before our trail.
It was fall break. 17-year-old Luka Mijatovic and his friends decided to spend the day hiking at Red River Gorge.
I thought I was picking a pretty moderate trail to be on.
But things quickly took a turn when the group reached Courthouse Rock.
From what my friends told me, we tried to climb up on this rock, but we realized it wouldn't be possible.
And when they tried to turn around,
and that's when I slipped and I couldn't catch my footing, and so I just fell off the ledge, I guess.
When Luka fell, he suffered a major concussion and injured his back and shoulder. But he wasn't the only one hurt. He says his friend slipped too.
He fell like a straight 30 feet. Mine was more like a tumble. The closer it gets to the event, the more I don't remember it.
For Luka and his friends, they needed help fast. It took multiple agencies to get them back to safety.
The way we made access to them was, it's probably a 1.5 mile hike in with a whole lot of rope gear, medical equipment.
For John May, chief of Wolfe County Search and Rescue, his goal was to get them to a helicopter, where Mike Sizemore and Jess Roberts were waiting to transport them to a hospital.
As far as getting an ambulance into the area that was closest to him like we were, there was really no chance of that.
Luka was discharged that next day.
I'm completely fine now. I really don't feel anything.
That's why Luka and his family came to the Middle Fork Fire Department to thank the first responders who saved him that day.
We don't often get to follow up with our patients that we transport. We don't really ever know what happens to them.
But that changed when several of Luca's heroes got to hear it straight from him. In Powell County, Maggie Rickerby, WKYT.
A Jackson County man is behind bars after he was accused of evading police. It happened last week when police were called to the 7,000 block area of Highway 421 North in Sand Gap. Police say Matthew Hammond had multiple warrants for his arrest. Police say when Hammond realized that police were after him, he tried to get away. After Hammond was taken into custody, police noticed that he had a handgun in his possession. A Tennessee woman was arrested after police in Bell County say she was driving under the influence. It happened Tuesday when deputies were dispatched to a possible crash. Police say they noticed Amanda Like's vehicle sitting sideways in the middle of the road. Deputies say when they asked for her license, she showed one that was suspended for DUI. She was charged with operating a vehicle under the influence and endangering the welfare of a minor. This year, University of Kentucky students are teaming up with Believing in Forever Incorporated to collect new coats for kids who need them this winter. They're looking for donations of brand new coats, which can be dropped off in black bins at the Johnson Center campus through November. They're also accepting monetary donations to buy more coats, aiming to help thousands of children stay warm.
So for those kids to get a new coat, it's a really big deal, and it really helps with their self-esteem, and it makes them really happy.
The students are also accepting monetary donations again, as we said, and they again will use that money for more coats. Well, a big draw for students at Eastern Kentucky University is going away starting next fall. The school has been providing students with textbooks since 2021. New federal aid developments are now forcing a change. EKU had been providing free textbooks through their BookSmart program, but in fall 2026, books could cost close to $800 per student. Although senior Zane Moeller will not be affected, he says based on what he read in an email, the change could be a good thing.
In reality, we'll actually get more money back from the government and less back than we would get from the school covering the textbooks.
A news release says staff at EKU's Big E Central can talk to students about financial aid and scholarship options as students plan for 2026. Starting today, Kentuckians can apply for help with their heating bills. Applications are now open for the Low-Income Home Emergency Assistance Program Fall Subsidy, also known as LIHEAP. It offers eligible families help with heating costs through local community action agencies. The amount families receive depends on several factors like income level and the fuel type used for heating. You can apply at your local community action agency enrollment, and that runs through December 12th. Well, you probably woke up this morning feeling extra rested, and that's thanks to an extra hour of sleep. Our clocks fell back, ending daylight savings time. While there could be some perks of it, less daylight can be a trigger for anyone who suffers from seasonal affective disorder, more commonly known as seasonal depression. Alyssa Williams spoke with a psychologist to learn the signs and tips to help those slipping into the seasonal blues.
The American Psychiatric Association says seasonal affective disorder, more commonly known as seasonal depression, impacts 5% of American adults and lasts 40% of the year. Psychologist Dr. Catherine L. Stone says several of her clients deal with it.
As soon as it gets to be like mid-fall and into the winter months, I know that some of my clients are going to struggle more. And anyone that works in this field will tell you winter is a really tough time for therapists too, because there's so much more depression that we see.
Dr. Stone says the colder months create less opportunities to be outdoors getting vitamin D and less chances to socialize. She says the primary symptoms of seasonal affective disorder are persistent low mood, fatigue, loss of interest, changes in appetite, and social withdrawal.
Individuals that are really struggling with seasonal affective disorder find that they can't wait to get off work or get out of school, put on their pajamas and be in bed. They have a hard time getting out of bed. They may not have the energy to be able to do their daily tasks or even to take care of their kids, or at least at the level that they typically do.
Stone says there are things she recommends to combat this: establishing a routine of going to bed at the same time every night, scheduling out regular meal times, and even light therapy are ways to help.
With my clients, I often focus on sleep, nutrition, exercise, screen time. And we look at those 4 things because when your balance is off on one, then your mental health is going to drop a little bit.
Alyssa Williams, WKYT.
Dr. Stone adds if you begin having thoughts of self-harm or suicidal ideation, you should reach out to your primary care provider. Well, how far you live from your primary care doctor could affect your health. A study in Canada found people who lived 18 miles or more away from their family physician were more likely to rely on the ER for non-emergencies and saw their doctors less, which led to lower quality health care. Men, people from lower income communities, and those under 65 were most at risk. Foreclosure rates continue to rise, up 20% in September from last year. A provider of nationwide property data reported more than 35,000 foreclosures filings around the country in September. The high cost of home insurance is driving up payments in places like Florida. Despite drawing some comparisons to the 2008 housing crash fueled by higher risk mortgages, real estate experts don't expect a repeat. ODAC says it's still the right time to buy for somebody.
When people aren't paying their mortgage per se, that indicates something broader in the market for us. What we don't know is if the folks that maybe were moving there for remote work during the COVID era are starting to see distress or not. But typically, it's older homes that are just going through traditional foreclosure processes.
Employment rates also affect foreclosures, and there's less of a safety net now that pandemic-era foreclosures, moratoriums, and forbearance programs for struggling homeowners have ended. Officials say a road in Perry County is going to be closed for a week this month. Kentucky 451, that's closing from November 10th through the 15th. Officials say crews will replace a drainage structure at mile point 5.86. They say it's on the north side of Town Mountain, roughly 2 miles from the Hal Rogers Parkway and Kentucky 80 intersections. Drivers can use Kentucky 15 and Kentucky 80 to bypass that work.
And we're looking at those chilly temperatures this morning, mainly in the low to mid 40s. So you might need that light jacket as you are starting off your Monday. Keep in mind we are still watching some dense fog as you're beginning your day with cloudy skies as we go through the next several hours. By the time we head into the afternoon, though, we'll be looking at a mixture of sunshine. So keep in mind fog this morning, cloudy skies, temperatures in the mid 40s, and then mid to upper 50s as those high temperatures with those sunny skies later this afternoon. Amelia.
Thanks, Megan, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning at 6:42. Coming up, an AI-powered device is helping solve one of the biggest problems with recycling, but you can help too. We'll show you how when we return.
Travel for